Shut it back. Words of refrain, something like a bat. Well, I want your love, call me when you can. Girl, going up.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going over a Cliffhanger team that we've been revising over and over, and this is the second iteration of our 0 point Cliffhanger team. It consists of Bayleef, Aggron, Mantine, Hitmonchan, Alolan's Sandslash, and Togekiss. So let's go ahead and get into the games. This is going to be a best of 5 with Shagness. Same person from our last video. So she also has a little bit of a revised team. She has Alolan Marowak. Is the only Pokemon that has changed out. I forgot. Oh, she had Flygon before, so she has swapped out Flygon for Alolan Marowak. So we start the game with Bayleef versus Venusaur. And, two grass types, but Venusaur can get to the poison moves, which are going to be doing a lot of damage against Bayleef, since it is super effective. We're just going to try to get off our ancient powers, since it's going to be neutral damage against Venusaur, but with Vine Whip, Venusaur is going to be getting to those fast moves way quicker than we are with Razor Leaf. So our Bayleef gets taken out, and we bring in Alolan Sandslash, and he's going to be getting hit hard by these grass moves, so we want to shield the charge attack while we can, and then we'll take out the Venusaur. She brings in Alolan Marowak, and we try to swap into Mantine, and then she swaps in with Swampert. So we have the Bubble variant for our fast attack, and then the Ice Beam and Air Slash or Aerial Ace for our charge moves. So we're actually not going to be doing very much damage against this Swampert. Yeah, so she's just going to be Hydro Cannoning us, and we're going for Aerial Ace, but now that I think about it, maybe Ice Beam would have been better. Something that I'm learning or thinking about just now when I'm watching this video. We go ahead and shield the Hydro Cannon there because we have a charge move that we can still get off. Not sure that was the best idea, but we do only have Alolan Sandslash in the back. She goes ahead and shields it, and we swap back in with Sandslash because we have a charge move on him also, and we just want to take it out. But she brings back in the Marowak, which is going to be doing a ton of damage with that Shadow Ball against us. And we just try to get off any charge move we can right before getting fainted, but Steel is not very effective against Marowak here. And Bubble is super effective, but we don't have enough time before she gets to her charge move on Marowak before we get taken out. So she goes ahead and takes game 1. We think about it a little bit, and we want to bring in Hitmonchan here, and then our double flyers, since she only has the one grass type and no she has Lantern, but we don't think she's going to bring it in, and if she does, we have Hitmonchan. So we swap in here to Togekiss because Togekiss has more neutral matchups against the rest of her team, plus it's also super effective against Alolan Marowak. So it's better to use Togekiss because we're not going to get caught out hugely by like Lantern or even Venusaur, even though Venusaur and Mantine have a pretty even matchup. So she does bring in Venusaur, and we do have to use our shields on the Frenzy Plants here if we want to keep Togekiss alive, which I do. And I think right here I got a little scared. I think I could have just fast attacked this Venusaur down, and as you see right there, she shields. But she does get taken out by the auto attacks. She must have been really close to a charge attack. So somewhat good instincts by us, but I do think we are a little behind at this point because of the switch advantage that she has. So we probably should have made a slightly riskier play and gone for just fast attacking her down. At this point, we're locked into the matchup that we started with, which is Hitmonchan versus Alolan Marowak. And Alolan Marowak wins this matchup pretty hard, being a ghost type. and takes out our Hitmonchan. So we're probably going to come in with Mantine. Yeah, just because Mantine has more HP, so we can soak up all the energy gain that Marowak had there. Plus the bubbles are going to be super effective. And Mantine does take two of those Shadow Balls, so soaks up a lot of damage there. And our Togekiss is in against her last Mon, which is Swampert. We go ahead and go for Ancient Power, looking to get the buff. We do not get it, but she is super low, and she's going to take out our Togekiss. And I come in and I think, oh, I can definitely just take her out with one more auto, but she actually gets another charge move off here. Swampert's so good at with such good energy gain on Mudshot, and such a low energy cost move of Hydro Cannon that she was able to get 2 in a row right there. So we're down 0-2 here with our revised team, not looking too great, but I have faith. And we're going to start Togekiss. If you saw in the last video, I decided to start Togekiss a lot, just in case she wanted to start a grass type, or if anyone wants to start a grass type against my team, I would really like to have Togekiss take on the grass since it's neutral, and I can just shield. Since I'm going to be using shields on Togekiss anyways, I'd rather take the hardest matchup away from their team, so that my team can do a little better. So yeah, eats up 2 shields from us, but we're going to take out this Venusaur, but she actually makes it to a charge move before fainting here. So we get taken really low on Togekiss. It would have been nice to have about 60% health and be really close to this Ancient Power, but it is what it is. And we are going to use this Ancient Power against Swampert. Even if we got the buff, it wouldn't really do much here. We're so low, this Swampert's probably just going to take us out with fast attacks. We end up getting the Swampert pretty low though, so I end up coming in with Bayleef just because I know Swampert has a move still left, and I wanted him to eat it since we have no shields left. I think we could have came in with Mantine, but we probably would have lost 50% of our health, and we would have looked to farm down that matchup. And just from what she had in the back, it actually would have been fine to come in with Mantine, but we couldn't have known that right then. And she uses her final shield right here, which is bad for us because our Mantine's going to get taken out. And on Bayleef, we're just going to auto attack and hope, because that's all we have is hope. But she gets to a charge move here, and it's actually Bone Club, so it doesn't take us out, and we are able to auto attack the Marowak down with enough for a charge move. But she has charge move priority, gets off the Hydro Cannon, but we actually survive around 1 or 2% HP and get off this Ancient Power to win that match. So that was a crazy one, but we actually get on the board here with 1 win. No sweep today. And we decide we're going to bring in Aggron, because we think she's going to bring in Noctowl. So Aggron versus Venusaur, I'm not too familiar with this matchup. I'm sure not many people are. And she throws out a Frenzy Plant here, and I'm thinking, oh, it's probably not going to do too much. It does a lot. So our Aggron goes down to this Venusaur without even so much as a fight, and then I decide to bring in Togekiss because of the same reasons as before. It's going to have pretty even matchups if she decides to swap out, and then I'll have the choice on whether or not I want to swap in, or if I want Switch Advantage or to stay in neutral matchups. We're going to use our shield on Togekiss here against the Frenzy Plant. And we're just going to be looking to auto this Venusaur down and then come in with 1 move away from a Ancient Power on whatever comes in here. She does have 2 shields though, so that's really bad for us. When she brings in Lantern, I decide to swap into Bayleef, and then she swaps into Alolan Marowak. So this is not great for us. Marowak uses Bone Club, but Bone Club really doesn't do very much damage to Bayleef, especially since it's resisted. And we actually get the Ancient Power off without any shields being used there, which I'm kind of surprised because she had 2 left. And we use our final shield on the Shadow Claw. I guess she was baiting with a Shadow Ball, but we weren't going to shield a Bayleef at full life. We're not going to get anywhere near KO'd from a Shadow Ball, probably about half, maybe 40% damage is what the Shadow Ball does. And then Lantern comes in, and Razor Leaf is going to eat up Lantern, and we resist any of the moves that Lantern has. So we even it up 2-2, and we come into this final match, and we're going to go with double Flyers and Bayleef in the middle, starting out with Togekiss in the front. So thinking about it now, I really like Bayleef as the lead, but there are a bunch of bad matchups in general. Like, if we had let it here, it would have been insanely bad. Although Togekiss, I think, is not very good against Noctowl either. So we're both just fast attacking each other down. I'm kind of surprised that a Sky Test hasn't come out yet, so I decided to shield this, thinking it might be Psychic, which it is. And then we go for Ancient Power. She's going to have to shield this, otherwise it's going to faint Noctowl. But Noctowl was so low, it's a good idea not to use a shield on it. And then Venusaur comes in, and we still have Bayleef in the back, so if I didn't shield there, I think we would have been fine. But we decided to shield and try to take a shield off of this Venusaur while also doing a ton of neutral charm damage, which is what's happening here. And I think she actually feints us down, which is really bad for us because now she can get to a Sludge Bomb. So now no matter which Pokemon I bring in here, she's going to have a super effective charge move against it. She actually uses Frenzy Plant there, probably was clicking it before I swapped in, just doing neutral damage. But she has so much energy, she still had enough for a Sludge Bomb there, and our Bayleef just goes down without even a chance. And now she has 2 shields against our Mantine, which is really bad. But what are we going to do? We try to auto it down. We throw out the Ice Beam there. Oh, she actually only had 1 shield. So we throw out the Ice Beam. We throw out a second Ice Beam, hoping that this would KO, but it does not. And she's going to use Shadow Ball, which does a lot to us, but we still have enough HP that we think we can auto it down. But she had so much energy saved. Yeah, she's going to get that second charge move off against Mantine, and that's going to be the best of 5. 3 games going to Shagnus. Really good job. So here's our revised team up to this point. It's Bayleef with Razor Leaf and Ancient Power. I think Bayleef's actually insanely good. There's so much coverage, so the Ancient Power is going to cover you on a lot of your bad matchups, especially the Flyers. So if you're in a good matchup with Bayleef, you're probably just going to Razor Leaf them down and then come into the next match with a charge move of Ancient Power there, because they'll probably bring in their counter if they were already locked into something else. So you'll be able to either take a shield or take out that Pokemon, even though it was a counter. Our next Pokemon was Mantine. Mantine, another good coverage Pokemon with Bubble as its fast attack, and then Aerial Ace and Ice Beam as its 2 charge moves, which again gives a lot of coverage, especially against the grass types, so against things that counter it. And then our 2 tanks of Alolan Sandslash and Aggron. They both have a little bit different usages. Sandslash is going to be obviously ice. The Flyers that are bad against ice, such as like Altaria. And then Aggron is going to have Smackdown and be good against the Flyers that are weak against rock. So I know a lot of Flyers are weak to both, but I think at this point I was thinking they had such diverse matchups that I wanted both, and then hope that my opponent wouldn't know the differences between the 2. And then Togekiss has been on the team since the beginning. Togekiss just doing so much damage with Charm to a lot of the field. Yeah, it's going to cost you a shield, maybe even 2, but with one shield you're probably going to take out most Pokemon, and 2 shields you're definitely going to take out every Pokemon. And then our last person on this team, our Pokemon on this team, is Hitmonchan, which is going to be filling that Medicham role. Just counter and power up Punch with Thunder Punch, and it's just because we don't have any TMs. I would rather have Ice Punch on there, but Thunder Punch has actually been pretty nice against the Flyers as well, which is another good coverage move. So The main difference from this team versus the last team is that this team has a lot more bulk and a lot more coverage. And that is something that I have found during my testing of the 0-point teams has been lacking. I think that is what the main difference is between a lot of the Pokemon that are top tier versus bottom tier. It's not necessarily the typing, although that plays a large role into it as well. It's that a lot of the Pokemon in the tier 3 or 0-point tier is they don't have any bulk, so they're like Raichu or something. They're glass cannons, or they don't have the greatest movesets or coverage. So that's one of the major things is a Pokemon that is in that 0-point tier is going to have, let's say it's a grass Pokemon, they're going to have all grass moves. Well, that's fine if I'm taking on a type that I'm good against or even neutral, but what if I'm slightly bad against one other type and I just need that other move? So coverage is another big thing, and probably the biggest thing, I think, and that's what I've really been looking for in these 0-point Pokemon. So in my next video, I have the team that I actually have registered for our Ghost Stadium tournament, and it's another 0-point team. It looks very similar to this team. I think I just have 1 or 2 changes, and I'll go ahead and let you see that in the next video. Thanks for watching.